The term military analyst is not a legally protected term. It's not like doctor. It's more like economist. Any asshole can start calling themselves one and fart out a vaguely plausible opinion on the current situation.
So I have an opinion on the current situation as I go through my, I guess, newfound career that I did not know was coming. As you guys, my goal, my philosophy is to make it so that people do not waste their time, which is what economists should do anyway. We want to make sure you have the best results for your time on this planet. We want you to get the most bang for your buck. We want you to be wealthy, happy, in love, having a good life, and all that other stuff. And the major economic question facing men in particular, women not so much, you have different issues to worry about, is whether or not you guys want to pursue women, because the pursuit of women is the single largest expenditure of men's resources and time. And it's a rather new and radical idea. Well, why would you do it? What do you mean, why would we do it? We've been doing it forever. Plus, I want to play with those things over there. That's why I want to do it. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, I think it may not be worth it, or if you're going to do it, you have to be much more judicious about it. And so what we're doing now is we're taking, with the wonders of the internet, getting tons sociological data, economic data, polling data, research, anecdotes, all this other stuff. And at least my little corner of the sphere here is to take that all in, analyze it, and then give my best guess. Actually, it's a lot like being a sovereign risk analyst, now that I think about it. It's very, very similar to what I did back when I was younger, except instead of analyzing countries' economies, I analyzed today's dating market. There's a lot of parallels there. Anyway, and then I got to give advice to younger men generally about, okay, is it worth it? And I'm still the philosophy, yes, if you find the right one, it's worth it, but there's a lot you got to do to go to find the right one, blah, 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 blah. But one thing that kind of threw me for a curveball a little bit, it was a different beast. I didn't know how to handle it, was all these TikTok girls. And it's not even the TikTok girls. I don't watch it, but I get a couple things on my feed where people like Taylor the Fiend, Nate Ace, there's a ton of them. A ton of them. A lot of these sites that kind of like how the critical drinker in the gang have made a cottage industry and become quite wealthy off of Hollywood's leftist, Marxist, feminist bullshit, creating their own channels, sometimes over millions of subscribers. These guys have also made pretty good money, pretty good channels. We can't call this a career, can we? No, we really can't. Pretty good channels making pretty good money off of these TikTok girls who, on the face of it, are so out of touch with reality, so up their own ass, that it cannot be but sensationalism. It cannot be something you have to click on it. And when you look at it right off the bat, you're like, oh my God. And you have circumstantial evidence, the environment, we're in the thick of the sex war. You look at what these women are saying. Oh, you never go on a coffee date. You are the table. Also highly corroborated and further evidence are proven by shows like Fresh and Fit, the Whatever podcast, Access Vegas, and things like that. When these TikTok girls, these TikTok videos, these dating coaches, the general genre of them, are put out on the internet, shared, and viewed, that further informs men's opinion about women's overall interest in them. And some stank like a lot of fish. It smelled like Seattle. It really did. Because I'm looking at the more I paid attention to it, the more I sussed it out, I figured it out. But what initially smelled, the first couple of whiffs of fish I got, is like they're all good looking. And then the stuff they say is just a little bit too outlandish. And then it started to become more and more apparent where, oh yeah, they got a link to their Instagram account. If you I put the three, I guess would be the most common ones there. You have the girl who, coffee date. Oh no, you just got to give me $1 million, but I'm totally not a whore. You must have yachts and cars and buy me everything and minks and furs on the first date, but I'm not a whore. So there's that gal. Then there's the one with buggy eyes, crazy, whatever, New York, LA girl boss who got rejected by the matchmaker because she's insane. And there was the do not talk to me girl. And those are just three. There's hundreds, probably hundreds of them. And certainly no limit to the number of dating coaches. You are at the table. Shut up. But what was it? There was a gal who was complaining about her job working as a sushi waitress. And she had a degree in marketing, which is a bullshit career or degree. But she was sitting on a really nice SUV, it looked like. And then sure enough, there was a link to her, whatever, OnlyFans or Cash App or whatever it was. Or maybe it was just her YouTube profile. No, she was fitness. She was fitness. Oh, you all want to be influencers. OMG. I just totally don't like work or math, but I'm totally strong in defense. Subscribe, cleavage, shake it, shake. I guess it's not as hypocritical as like, oh, I'm totally a tradwife. Look at my cleavage and the crucifix in between it. Anyway, as you watch more and more of these, it becomes pretty apparent that these are just money grabs, clickbait, links to whatever. They want to grow their audience and stuff like that. And so that's the strategy they do it. But my question was, well, how many guys are as cynical as me and are willing to look past it? Because I got a lot of, I guess we call them colleagues or people within my little section here of the internet. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And sometimes they seem to be a little couth. There's one guy, he's Russian. And he starts out with this fat gray cat just saying, hey guys, what is going on? There's scores of these channels. And sometimes they, yeah, you're just doing it for attention whoring. We got it. But then I always wonder, like, well, yeah, okay, we know they're doing it for attention whoring. That's not really narrowing it down. Sure, they might have links to the Cash Apps and all that. But there was still a piece of me where I'm like, I think they actually believe their own bullshit. I'm not talking the guys that cover these gals. I'm talking the TikTok gals. And some of the guys who cover them with their own cottage industry resultant channels, sure, they say, yeah, it's for clickbait and attention and all that. But like, I can't believe this either. And then if you consume all okay, you take in Fresh and Fit, the whatever podcast. Yes, there's shows. I know. It's somewhat fanfare and theatrics. I get it. Then you take in all the social media, like on Twitter, right? Because I'm on different social media. It's now part of my job. You go on Facebook, you see it, and you consume all the media, not just, oh my God, like remember the idiot nitwit who was crying because she had to work 9 to 5 and couldn't handle it. I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, that could be clickbait, but I can actually believe a spoiled little suburbanite princess having a meltdown, having to actually work a 40-hour week job. The girl who filmed herself getting fired, I could see that. And I also more recently came out with the observation like, wait, this is the participation trophy generation. If you look at it, not to bore you with too much details, these gals are good looking, so they're delusional. They're also epiphany stage type of gals, late 20s, early 30s, and tickety tock. And now would be, I could see them like, now's the time to come out and scream, and where's my government constitutionally mandated husband? And I said, well, if you take that participation, ultimately entitled generation, everything they brought up, there might be more authenticity and veracity to this than the mere theatrics and clickbait and make money on becoming an influencer that I originally thought. So the best that I could judge, the best I could figure, it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It was half and half. Yes, there obviously is a very clear attention whoring, financial monetization. I may become an influencer. Lord knows the channels might actually have a lot of videos and fine. Okay. There's that ulterior motive, but I'm thinking there's also a bit of veracity to this as well. It is half and half. So this is not whatever the word of God. It's not the 10 Commandments coming down from the mountain. But this isn't Pravda or mainstream media. I actually think like there's actually probably a little bit more than a seed of truth here. And so I was like, okay, I can think, this is going to, I can see the BS, but then also because there's a seed of truth and what girl does like getting rejected. So there's an element of, there's the propaganda piece, but there's the element of truth piece. And so a lot of women are going to resonate with this. So I'm thinking it's partially believable. Then the question I had unto myself, I said, self, you could see the bullshit. You could see the makeup. You could see the fake wrestling punch. You could also see maybe there's a little bit of veracity to it. But does the average boy see this? Does the average man see this? And when you factor in all the other media that's going on, whether it's shows like Fresh and Fit, whether it's the whatever podcast, whether it's articles being written in the mainstream media, whether it's movies put out by Disney, what men are starting to what they're starting to get the impression of is that this is the real opinion of women because there's no counter opinion. There's no nice girl saying like, "Oh, these girls are bullshit." No, that girl's crazy. These girls are nut jobs. Because guys would you'd look for that, say, is that Jerry Springer? What is that? And then you go and look and you say, well, no, girls can't possibly be like that. But where's the counter message to this to say, no, those bitches be cray cray? And it's not there. You got She-Hulk, you got Velma, you got Kathleen Kennedy, you got Disney. You got them literally saying, oh, no, she's not going to be saved by the prince because we don't need men and virtuous and true. She'd be a leader. In other words, in the mainstream established, there's not this, oh, yeah, they're crazy bitches. You could ignore them. That's Teen Vogue magazine. That's Jerry Springer with a set of boobs. There isn't any alternative message. And whereas I think most of it is propaganda, I think it is fanfare. I think it is absurd behavior. In other words, I don't really believe it 100%. The average guy doesn't know that. In other words, I'm being more optimistic about the average girl on the street. Well, there's another one. There's another one where they interview, what's the latest? They interview the 800-pound buffalo. Like, what do you want? Not white men. How much does the man need to make? $800,000. Then there's actual research and data that comes out, and I guess this is ultimately cements the fate of these men's opinions being formulated erroneously about women's general opinion of men. But then you have online dating metrics where I say those are a little bit more, those have more veracity. Where is the needle of truth? We really don't know. But online dating data statistics kind of are, they point in the right direction. You throw that on top of there, unless you're really going to sit down and critically think about it, unless you go, oh, hang on, let's go investigate these channels. I damn well might. The only thing, I don't want to look up who these girls are, go to the channel, look at okay, how many of them have, and maybe one of these days I should. But that's a second point. My main point is that without a counter argument, without something with other women saying, no, these girls are crazy. Men are starting to believe it. And these girls who, when they act, I'm going to say a lot of it is acting. I don't think they're 100% sincere. This is a little bit of a show. There's a little bit of act. They are making women look like reprehensible human beings, mentally ill, supremely arrogant. They gold digging whores, Miss Blonde with the spray paint of makeup hit on her face, like whatever accent she's got. You do not take this, you must have Ferrari and then Mink, and then he must buy all of Serbia and give it to you, but you are not a whore. You are a valuable woman. And guys are starting to believe that most girls are like this. And then the real victims, I try and play it down the straight line here, guys. The real victims are the nice girls, which admittedly are in very small and dwindling and short supply. They're wondering why guys aren't asking them out. They're wondering why, no, thank you. No, not going to happen. And I remember dating. Yeah, there are a lot of good. these girls, I'm not kidding, some of these girls might actually be sincere. Matter of fact, I almost can guarantee you some of them actually are that delusional. I remember my dating days, I used to run into them, but they weren't all like that. My concern is the digital and overall media presence in the United States, the entire media market. The message they're giving to men is adversarial, confrontational, combative, us versus them. You're guilty of the original sin of patriarchy and institutional sex, all that other stuff. So when then these girls come up on the stage, the guys are like, oh my God, this is really what they think about us. Another way to look at it would be like this. Professional wrestling, you could convince up to like a 9-year-old boy that that's real. You could convince a 3-year-old Santa Claus is real, but 4, 5, 6, they don't believe it. You could convince an 8, 9-year-old boy professional wrestling is real. You could convince some low IQ meth horking Wyomingians that Jerry Springer is real. But and it goes up with the what you're trying to convince them of. If you're not sitting there and being a little bit cynical, a little bit, I don't trust that. That's bait. This could convince men well into their 40s. And if they're a little bit dumber, certainly of any age, we're like, God, is that, wow, look at these girls. And then they go and say, no, this can't be true. And then you look at She-Hulk, I hate men and I'm green. That wasn't in the show, but you get my opinion. And then you get, what's her name? Kathleen Kennedy, female, blah, blah. You read any of the news, you go to school, you got your teachers and everyone's saying, we don't need you, we don't need you, we don't need you. And also like, I could totally see where they think that's real, where they totally think that is what the average woman thinks. Meanwhile, as I said before, the victims in this are the quiet, more reserved, normal girls who are basically money grubbing attention whores of the internet, or actual genuine psychopaths who might actually believe this fucking bullshit. And since there is no counter, this even gets worse. I thought about it. The only counter narrative, don't really like using that word. The only not we're a bunch of bitches message. That's basically what it is we're a bunch of insufferable, mean bitches. The only thing running counter to that would be the tradwife movement, which I think died out last week. It was here, it showed up 3 weeks ago, and then it died out last week. It's had its run, where there are girls who are like, oh no, I totally want to help men. Men are, oh, I want to make the cookies and tea. Look at me, a crucifix in my cleavage. And that 98% of those were fake. That was just smart, clever, opportunistic Machiavellian women capitalizing off of that. Like, oh, I totally like making cookies for my husband. And most guys, they can identify that as bullshit before they figure out, oh, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Well, the other guy, I'm scared. I'm so scared. And then fat cat guy was like, yes, turn the camera. I don't believe you. The average guy is smart enough to know that the former porn star with the big tits, oh, I got a flowery dress on, I sound like Ronald Reagan. They know that's bullshit, but I don't think they know like their evil twin sisters aren't bullshit. And so there is no authentic, legitimate, sincere, no, hey, and I'm not asking for you girls to go cheerlead, besides which, based on my data reason, most of you don't want to, and it's not your obligation. And I don't think the girls who are quiet and demure or more traditional or just nice have the energy. And usually you gals are probably busy with something else going on, like a real career or a job or something, going to school. I don't know. Not worth your time to counter this. But since there is no counter argument, so what I'm looking for, counter picture, there's no alternative painting presented. No. No one's debunking this. This is starting to form men's opinion of women, and a lot, especially the younger men who may not be as savvy or experienced. And as we continue to go down this path of time, you're going to see, you may not see it. Men aren't I mean, some are, but they're not. They don't quit as loud. They don't quit as I'm taking my ball and going home. They don't make an announcement. They don't take out a page. Freaking Condé Nast publications don't write articles like, "Oh my God, how women have failed." That's for you gals. They just quit. In my latest book, A World Without Men, I look at labor force participation rate. I look at how men spend their time in the day. I look at the percentage of men who live at home, which is increasing. All these numbers are worsening. They're not improving. These guys are quitting. They're just not making a statement or taking out an ad in the front page of the local newspaper. But they are leaving, and their opinions of women are definitely being warped. Maybe not. What's the word I'm looking for? Whatever the current opinion of women in general is, and their counter interest in them, is being warped for the worse, but it also may be more accurate, if that makes any sense. And so when you girls like, oh, I'd like to find out, why can't I find a guy? Why are guys asking out? A lot of it disproportionately is because of these internet attention whores. Authentic or not, whether they believe it or not. And I don't know what you normal girls who have jobs and are nice and kind or whatever, you want to be women or whatever, do. I don't know what you can do to counter this, but at least you can say those girls aren't real. That's not what women think. You got to start or I could be completely wrong. You girls say, no, that's actually what we think, which would be progress either way in my book, because all I want to know is the truth. You say, no, that's what we think. We think men should take us out to dinners. We're not settling for coffee dates. That'd be good to know. Then here I am, Mr. Optimistic, trying to go to bat for the innocent gals. I'm like, oh, that served you right, Cappy. The other one who, like, the guy who came up and talked to her, who knows, she probably had a flat tire. I wouldn't, Lori was like, she's like filming it. What's wrong with you? Oh no, women are terribly afraid of men of all times. At all times, we're horribly afraid of men. Lord knows you're gonna jump out on a sunny afternoon. Wow, you're really that afraid of us? Then the guy says, hey, lady, you forgot your wallet or whatever it was. We'll never know because this she needed to get some clickbait. And then the other one, I don't know, with those eyes, man, maybe she was authentic. That gal, that's the gal who give you nightmares right there. In any case, if that's real, if what these girls are saying, all these TikTok girls, these influencers are saying is real, well, that's a conversation we should have. And maybe the silence on the part of women, the silence on the part of the quiet, more reserved women, maybe that's our answer. Maybe there aren't reserved, quiet. I mean, 320 million people. Yes, I'm sure there are some, but the main position of women be like, no, that's accurate. Maybe the lack of that's a fake. That's all theater. That's internet kafefe, however they pronounce. That's professional wrestling. The lack of that means like, oh shit, is that right then? Is that really what you girls think of guys? Because that's even worse than what I thought. I have a whole long chapter that tries to assess and estimate women's opinion of men in the United States. It goes through because there's a lot of different gals. Obviously, there's not one opinion. And so I go through different categories and estimate the percentages, polling data, some brilliant, intuitive, logical, mathematical economics work. You can go read it, link below. And I know this probably skews a little bit younger because if you look at it, these are younger again. If that is what it is, and no girl's going to come out and say, no, that's not what it is. That's bullshit. I mean, there's a comment section below. Tell me they're wrong. Don't tell me I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. But if there is, I'll tell you, here is another philosophical observation for everyone involved. Let's say there is a significant contingent of women that say, no, that's bullshit. These girls are attention whores. They're TikTok girls, whatever. They're just doing it to get money. Fine. Let's say there is that contingent of women. If they don't speak up, does it matter then? You know, it's the classic case. Oh, women really do like men. But okay, I don't give a shit what lurks deep in the heart of women. If you don't take action, it doesn't matter what you academically, theoretically want in your mind. The only thing people could take action on is other people's action. So if there isn't going to be a counter push towards this, or an alternative explanation, or a debunking, okay, then act theoretically, well, then that is truth, isn't it now? And this is not good for you, girl. It's not. Whether authentic or fake, this is not good. Now, I still believe that this isn't as real as it seems to be on the internet. But if this is what you're going to allow to continue to happen, women's public reputation among men in the United States is already pretty bad. I mean, let's admit we're in a sex war right now. It's only going to get worse. I don't know how much worse it can get, but I mean, you look at this. Forget it. And you start to see it whether you like it or not. You know, you got the passport bros, they're going overseas. A lot, not just passport bros, but a lot of men are going overseas. A lot of men are retreating. A lot of men are shutting down. Less men are working, less men going to college. Those data and statistics I can look up. I can see that. I can see it on a chart. But I'm wondering, that's why I was like, I'm wondering, but it doesn't matter. No matter what, this is bad. These are not good influences. This is not helping anyone. And I God Almighty, I keep thinking like, okay, there's got to be an end to it. You know, it's got to stop. Inevitably, people are going to say this is bullshit. We really, someone's going to come in with saying, hand, no, women don't really think like that. Okay, cool. We appreciate it. Where are the girls that don't think like that then? Which would be a whole other question. But if there's no other message being sent out there into the discussion of public ideas, marketplace of ideas, really go watch these girls. Girls, you go watch these girls, or go watch the shows where they they put it together. Do you really you expect men to like this or tolerate it? You expect men to still go and yes, I know it's the internet. Yes, I know it's all okay. Well, you got to show us where it's alternative, where the other reality lies. Because so far, this is the only thing informing men's opinion right now. I mean, within the totality and the combined thing. But that's the lightning rod stuff. The guys got to go right to that, because that's what's going to make it front news. That's how these guys make money. And I don't disagree with them. Like, here, these are the ones. I guess another thing would be, how many views do these gals have? Like, are they big influence? Like Pearl, she's on the other side. She has 2 million subscribers. Okay, that's significant. Are these gals up at the 2 millions? That would be some good data to look at. Maybe I should get off my ass, go look at the, like, how many subscribers do these type of gals all have? What kind of traffic do they generate? And then there is maybe, let's say, an actual Homestead Holly who actually is married. She's not a whore who just decided to put on a dress. Hey guys, like, oh my God, I'm making cookies. Hey. Click below. Like, oh no, here's how you, I don't know. This is a Dutch oven. I don't know. They just say, oh, I would love to have a Dutch oven. Everyone kept talking this conversation. Oh, yeah, Dutch ovens are great. Even the guys knew what a Dutch oven. I'm like, what the fuck is a Dutch oven? Isn't there a normal? There's an oven right there. What does that do that the Dutch oven doesn't? So there you go. If you want to have some more statistics and data to inform this discussion, I have linked the 2 books below. There are more research papers than anything else. One is called The Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI in the Pursuit of Women. The other one is A World Without Men, an Analysis of an All-Female Economy. I would strongly recommend the ladies read that. Not because you can disagree and tell me I'm full of shit. I'm not. The numbers and data I don't make up data. I'm not a professor or a sociologist. I'm an economist, and I don't work in colleges, so it's real. But it also for your benefit, ladies. Like, oh my God, what? There is, for any gal, like, remember, was it Moneyball with Brad Pitt? It was a movie based on a real thing. There was a statistician. What was that about? Where he knew enough about the statistics to it had Jonah Hill in it. I could actually be the Brad Pitt guy in the Moneyball movie, except for girls who are dating, like statistical dating. I'm like, do this, do this, do this, do this. Don't do that. Change that. Switch that from red to blue. Switch that from blue to red, and get rid of that stupid last syllable in your name. All right, there you go. All right, let's go to the super chats if we have any, and have ourselves a treat. Liberal shithole survivalist, $2. Is it really a PR problem if women don't like men? Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because remove the attention TikTok girls for a second and look at what would be considered more traditional, not attention whore sinking type of entities. Disney, Gillette, government, teachers, public schools, colleges. You could see where men would look at that and say, wow, that's real. And they would not be rational in that assumption or conclusion. The behavior I've seen in these TikTok gals just stinks. And I do say it's not 100% authentic, but it's so bad and so turned up to 11 that it gets lightning strike eyes. A lot of guys will watch that, but it will also inform men's opinion. And maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the pendulum does have to swing. Maybe I'm wrong. I have this dream that the pendulum stays here and we all get along because otherwise, frankly, we're going to die. But don't worry about what the economist says. He just, whatever dumb excuse you come up with then. I'm afraid it's just going to come slamming back because you cannot watch that despicable behavior and not at least have some kind of contempt for like, wow, all right, is that really what it is? Get the fuck out of here. And maybe you even start to see that. Now, there's legal reasons, but men aren't protecting women anymore in public. I say that's more legal. Like, well, what if I protect you, I go to jail? Like, no. But there's also certainly no traditional patriotic duty to help out a fellow American, male or female, but certainly not women. Like, well, you didn't need us. You've been yelling that in our ears for 50 years. We're kind of done with it now. So there are consequences. And they're going to be bad. And I'm just saying we could stop it. We could come. No, all right. How about Russia and Ukraine fight some more then? How many more hundreds of thousands you want to die this time? Thomas Ballantyne, $2. There are 100 of American business are luxuries unnecessary. You mean 100% of American luxury businesses are unnecessary? Yes, that's what a luxury is. It's unnecessary. It's nice to have, but I don't need steak dinner every night. Fan I am, 5 Australian. Have you heard any reports of a woman or feminist reading your book saying, hey, wait a minute, this isn't what I thought it would be? No. Again, more unfortunate evidence that these girls are acting less and being truthful more is I have never had a feminist pick up my book and read it and then reach out to me. Maybe a feminist has, or a girl has, or a leftist has, but I've not been notified. I've read like the top 5 books of not just feminists, but women's literature. Women Don't Owe You Pretty. This is several years ago, and they're horrible. I'm not meaning I disagree with the premise of the books or what was saying in the books. The books were horribly written. And when I won't lie, I thought there was at least some kind of rhyme or reason to feminist theory. And I look at it like, no, you're all just mentally ill. I mean, if this is what you wrote, if this is the best-selling book, this is childish slop. And it is. It was very childish writing. Liberal shithole survivalist, $5. Is it true that you saved a lot of money building your bachelor hut with a 6-foot ceilings? No. Did it save a lot of money? No. The 6-foot ceilings? Oh, haha. I see what you're doing. Like, no, I don't have 6. I got like 9 or something. Like, no. Well, when you're short like me, you can afford it. Yes, the construction cost, the materials cost on your house comes way down. So, like, I can't even reach up to 6 feet. I'm actually only 5'4". So yes, all my tall friends don't like my house. It's like living in a Hobbit, in the Shire. That's kind of where I live in the Shire. Johnny Vegas, $10. I don't see many of these pro men, women going to the courthouses, only on YouTube for the money. Yeah, no, and like I said, there's no. You show me the evidence. You show me the pro male. What the hell is that? You show me the pro-male women out there that aren't doing it. Tee, I totally love, that kind of thing. I don't see it. I don't see it. Which again it's just going to verify the most viral. I don't mean in a popular way, but I mean virus-like opinion being posted there about women's view of men. Justified Misogyny, $2. Have you seen the Jack Reacher bar scene about 304s? I've seen both Reachers. I don't know which scene you're talking about. Are you talking where they go into the officers club and they all fight? I don't know. Your average black dude. Yeah. What are you wearing? Is that you? You look like Eddie Murphy where he dressed up like a white guy on Saturday Night Live. Cappy, are we ever going to get a house tour? I can, sure, yeah. It's just there's in a house tour. I'll do one of these days. Ray John, our Canadian agent in the field, $2. Everyone keeps talking about the sports bowl. Yeah, good for them. Congratulations. I hope the one team does better than the other. And Thomas Ballantyne again for $5. I'm just saying hundreds of businesses in the U.S. are unneeded, and that includes women-run businesses. Yeah, okay, sure. TikTok, these businesses won't last much longer. I guarantee you this. There would not be a correlation between luxury businesses and gender. I don't believe you'd see any more or less ownership. You would see a trend among frivolous businesses and practical businesses and male or female. And the reason why is money. I look, all fashion. There's only one business in the fashion industry that isn't a luxury, that isn't about bullshit. It's called Goodwill. And that's where I get my clothes. The rest of it is all luxurious, frivolous bullshit. All right, maybe Carhartt, all right, working clothes, uniforms, that type of thing. I could see it. If you look at whatever, American Eagle, Versace, Louis Vuitton, Audi, I think the majority, at least in recent history, has been male leaders and probably even male owners. Just because their marketing is good and they get women to buy. And I'd got to imagine 65-70% of the stuff we spend in America is luxury anyway. We don't need fancy new cars. We buy it anyway. Why? Because our goods, our basics are kind of taken care of because of how hard generations in the past worked. Not this current generation. It's just like, okay, China, just don't come up with a world's reserve currency. Keep making our stuff for free, all right? Okay, good. Ni hao. Yeah, it's China. Ni hao. Hello? Yeah? So I don't think your small time one person shops, yeah, those are bullshit. The bobble shops and all that. But to be perfectly honest, men ran stupid businesses when I was in banking. Oh, I run a sports bar. Yeah, I don't think there'd be a correlation there. I really don't. The Saya Bronx, $2. Hey now, Cappy, I'd be proud if I could claim 5'4". Good, claim it. I'm not stopping you. Fan I am, 5 Australian, Jack Reacher movie. Oh, Tom Cruise, buy me a drink. Yes, I remember that. Okay, I can't afford you. I'm not a whore. Then I definitely can't afford you. That's right. Is that where he beats up everybody? Yeah, no offense to Tom Cruise. He's not Jack Reacher. The big guy from North Dakota. He's Jack Reacher on the TV show. All right, that's it. Link below. World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. The book of numbers, analyzing the ROI and the pursuit of women. Anytime, ladies. There's an opportunity comment section below. You tell me if you girls like, nope, they're real. I'm like, okay, now we know. Moving on. Why are they going overseas? See you guys later. Toodles.